Hi, in this video for Substance Designer 2021.1, I'm going to show you how to use the new spot color mode or Pantone colors. Now, before we get started, it's important that you look at your color management first. You should set that up before you start using your spot colors. So I'm going to go into Edit, References, and I'll click on Projects. And if you haven't set up a custom project, make sure to select that. In my case, I don't, so I'll select the user project. I'll click the Color Management tab. And if you haven't touched this before, it's going to be set to Legacy. Make sure you set it to Adobe Color Engine, Adobe ACE. If you're using an OpenColor.io, this does not support spot colors, so make sure that you're using Adobe ACE. I have a monitor profile, an ICC profile set up for my monitor, and I've told my 2D and 3D view to use that. So if you haven't calibrated your monitor, you're also not going to be sure that the colors are correct. So make sure you do that properly in advance as well. Specific to your monitor, so I can't really show you that here. Once you've done that, it says here very clearly in yellow, you have to restart for changes to take effect. I've already done that, so you can do that. And then we're going to dive into spot colors. Now, just to point out as well, if you're confused why you would need this, you probably don't. This is meant for people who work on real physical designs and objects that require colors to match the real world. If you're just working digitally with textures for video games, animations, whatever, you do not really need spot colors. So with that set up, here's how you get spot colors. You place a uniform color, or any color picker really, and then next to this color swatch here, there's a drop down here. By default, it's going to show these three little circles. They're meant to show RGB. If you click this drop down, and that's going to be a little harder to see, so let me drag this one over here so we can see a bit better. So if you click here, you see that you have a list with color books. So right now it's only Pantone. We might add more in the future, but for now it's just Pantone. And if you click that, the color picker changes and you get a list of colors along with books that you can flip between. So with this, you can go through pages, basically go through different ranges of colors. And you can then click on specific colors and you get that actual Pantone color there. Now, this isn't super easy to go through, so probably the easiest way is to search for something. So if I'm after a specific color like rhodamine red, I can search like that. It gets selected. But you can also click on the actual color icon here, and then you get the color editor. If you scale this up, it gets a bit easier to flick through the pages. Plus, you see much clearer what all the entries in all the pages of the book are. So that just makes it a little bit easier to use. And same again, you can search. You're searching for something that doesn't exist. So for example, I'm searching for turquoise. Doesn't exist. You won't find it. Keep in mind that the search only searches the current book. So it might be that you need to find a color in a different book. They might be working with an actual physical sample book next to you, so you'll probably know which book you are after. Now, it's worth pointing out as well that this, when you're in Pantone mode, when you've switched it to one of these, the spot color mode, you can use the color picker to actually do on-the-fly translations of colors to Pantone. So if I, for example, sample this red from the UI, automatically it's going to try and find the closest Pantone color to that. So that's 697C in this case. If you switch between books, it's going to try and find the closest color to that as well, so it translates on the fly. But you have to keep in mind, if you return, it's not the same one that I started out with, so you do have some loss when these conversions are happening. Now, another thing to point out is that when you've turned on color management and you're using the proper profile in the 2D view, then let me set it to this one, that's the correct one. You should be seeing the color managed color here, and it should match what you're seeing in Photoshop when you're using the same profile in Photoshop or Illustrator or anything. That said, the icons aren't always color managed. This is actually an option that you can turn on in the preferences. I think it's on in my case, but you can turn it off to save a little bit of performance. Now, there's not that much more to it. The only thing that you might be wondering is what happens when I export these Pantone spot colors to other applications. So right now, only Designer supports this. That doesn't mean that the colors won't work inside Unity, Unreal, Substance Alchemist, Substance Painter, Dimension, and so on. But you won't get this Pantone color book picker in there. There are ways around that though. So one way that you can solve this is if I would export this graph, I would decide to expose this graph input. I'll just call it color. Go to my exposed colors, and then obviously You would not get this in Alchemist or Paint or anything, but a way to fix this would be to go into presets and create presets in advance. So in this case, I can create a new preset, which I will call 7419C, click new. And then if I create another color, for example, this blue one here, I'll give that the same name, 3258C, new. Choose another one here. I can call this one 1635, click new. And this allows you to instantly switch between a few different preset Pantone colors that you might have. So any application that reads these presets, such as Alchemist or Painter, will let you use in that way. So it's a workaround for now until we add support for spot colors to other applications. And that's it. Try it out, and I hope it proves useful to you.